Welcome back, everyone. It's Andrew here. We have some important dates coming up when it comes to the next stimulus package, Social Security changes, potential stimulus checks for seniors, as well as getting back paid stimulus payments from 2021. So let's discuss the details. But before we jump into it, do me a quick favor, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this channel with anyone who you think might find this helpful. This is a community for seniors, and my job is to be a voice for you and be a voice for seniors to make sure President Biden keeps his promises to increase Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and even approve a stimulus check for seniors in this next stimulus package. So thanks for being a part of our community, and if you really want to support my work, subscribe to my second channel and become a member of this channel. The link to both of those are going to be in the comments of this video. Click that link and then hit join on my channel page. So thank you so much for supporting my work. Now, before we jump into the updates, we're going to talk about multiple different dates that are going to be really important for seniors. So we're going to go through those dates, but first, let's do a quick update on daily trending news. Now, as you guys know, on this channel, we advocate for seniors. We're fighting to increase benefits, and we're also fighting to get either a fourth stimulus check for everybody or a specific stimulus check for seniors, which Bernie Sanders is trying to include in the Build Back Better stimulus package. Well, at this point, you've probably heard about the Change.org petition that has 3 million signatures urging Congress to give the American people $2,000 per month until the pandemic is over. Well, that petition has officially crossed 3 million signatures. So thank you to everyone who filled out that petition. I filled it out like 6 months ago, and I know most people who watch my videos have filled out that petition. So thank you so much. The bigger that petition gets, the closer we get to having Congress approve more stimulus. Now, I didn't create this petition, but this is something that I've been supporting for the last few months. So it's really cool to see it's gotten over 3 million signatures, and the bigger it gets, the more news it gets, and the harder it is for Congress to ignore. So that's super exciting and really good news as we head into 2022. Democrats trying to get the stimulus package done, and of course, still waiting for seniors to get their stimulus checks. Now, regarding the Medicare premiums, I just want to do a quick update on that because remember, the Medicare updates were going up substantially this year. The Medicare premiums, Bernie Sanders wrote a letter to President Biden urging him to reduce those Medicare premiums, and that was written on December 3rd. He's been fighting for that for about 6 weeks, and as of now, it looks like, unfortunately, these Medicare premiums are going up as they were expected, and President Biden, at least so far, has not given Bernie Sanders what he wanted as far as lowering the Medicare premium. Now, some people think the reason President Biden didn't lower it is because they are going to include that stimulus check for seniors, which technically is to help seniors pay for medical expenses. But in any case, just wanted to keep you updated on that as of now, it looks like these Medicare premiums are going up, and we expect them to be $170 per month as long as you make less than $91,000 per year. All right, folks, let's talk about payment dates. We have a few important dates coming up. The first one being tomorrow, January 12th. Could be today, depending on when you're watching this video, but that is going to be the first wave of payments going out for seniors with a larger Social Security payment, including those COLA benefits. So I talked about that in my previous video. This is going to be the first wave of payments with the 2022 COLA included. And now the average payment is calculated to be $1,657. Now, most people on my channel make less than that. That's why we continue to fight for more. But this does mark the beginning of the 2022 payments. And depending on when your birthday is, you're either going to get these payments this Wednesday, January 12th, the next Wednesday, or the Wednesday after that. So that's our first important date, January 12th. Now, the next important date to watch out for is January 17th. So that's next week, Monday. And that is the date that Chuck Schumer has set to try and bring a vote for changing the filibuster rules. Now, this is directly going to impact a couple of things. First of all, he wants to change the rules so Democrats can change voting rights. He also wants to change the rules in the filibuster so they could do immigration reform, and also changing the filibuster rules so they could do multiple smaller stimulus packages. Because if you follow my channel, you know that the reason Democrats are trying to smash everything into one giant stimulus package is because they have to use budget reconciliation. That's the tool that allows them to bypass the need for 60 votes, bypass bypassing the filibuster and allowing them to get the stimulus package done with just 51 votes, meaning every single Democrat in the Senate, plus Kamala Harris being the 51st vote. Now, the problem is they can only do that once or twice a year, so then you end up trying to jam everything into one package, and it's basically impossible to compromise on it. Well, if they change the filibuster rule, it's going to allow them to do multiple smaller packages throughout the year. That way, it can be easier to get Joe Manchin to compromise, right? So that's the next date to look out for, January 17th, next Monday. This is going to be the first attempt that Chuck Schumer plans to make in bringing the filibuster rules to a vote, trying to change those rules to allow Democrats to do multiple smaller stimulus packages and multiple smaller bills throughout the year, making it easier to get stimulus done. Now, this is a hot topic, of course. Changing the filibuster rules is really controversial, but it's been done before. Both Democrats and Republicans have done this to appoint judges. Most notably, Mitch McConnell did this a few years ago to appoint Supreme Court judges, which really kind of irritated Democrats, but Democrats had done that previously with lower level judges, so they couldn't really say anything. And now this is kind of what's happening now. January 17th, huge date to look out for. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Chuck Schumer actually brings this to a vote and whether or not these changes to the filibuster actually take place. Again, if those changes take place, it's going to be a lot easier to get stimulus done going forward, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. So that's another date to look out for. Now, the last date we're going to talk about in this video is January 24th. Now, that is the official start date so you can file your taxes, and the IRS has already warned that this is going to be a very frustrating year when it comes to tax season. We expect there to be a lot of delays because the IRS is already backed up when it comes to reconciling the previous stimulus checks, and the reason this date matters, January 24th, is really important, is because millions of people this year, when they file their taxes, are actually going to be getting back paid stimulus payments for various reasons. Now, to be quite honest with you, most people who watch my videos won't qualify for these, but I'm going to quickly go over them, not in deep detail, but just quickly going to mention them. So in case this helps you, that's great. And you could potentially share this information with your friends and family. So first of all, anyone who had a child born in 2021 is going to claim that child on their taxes in 2022 for 2021, and they're going to get a back paid stimulus check of $1,400. Remember, in 2021, the third stimulus check was approved, and dependents were given $1,400 no matter how old they were. So if someone had a kid in 2021, they're going to claim that kid and get a back paid $1,400 stimulus payment. Then there's also the monthly stimulus checks for families with kids. That's going to be a back paid payment as well for the payments from January through June of 2021. Remember, those monthly payments didn't start until July, and then the IRS said that the first 6 months of payments would be going out as back pay when you file your tax return, right? So when you think about a family with one kid getting $300 per month, multiply that by 6, and millions of families are going to get $1,800 in back pay just based off of that monthly stimulus payment for kids being given in a lump sum stimulus payment for the first 6 months of 2021. When you add that on top of the fact that people are going to be getting an additional check when they had a kid this year, families with kids are going to be making out like bandits. They're going to be getting tons of stimulus money this year. This is why I keep saying it, guys. Getting more stimulus is not completely insane. We already have families getting all this back paid stimulus, especially when tax season starts on January 24th. Now, currently, we also have Democrats considering giving more stimulus to businesses like restaurants as the pandemic is getting worse once again. There are worries of partial shutdowns, or even if there's not shutdowns, maybe like a reduction in the amount of customers that are allowed in restaurants, or even just reduced demand as people don't feel safe going out and eating in public. So they're considering more stimulus for businesses. And again, if you're giving stimulus to businesses and giving stimulus to families, you should be able to give stimulus to seniors as well. And folks, let me know in the comments if you agree. So these are really the big dates we're looking at, folks. January 24th, that's tax season, and you're going to be seeing millions of people getting back paid stimulus payments. Next Monday, January 17th, we have Chuck Schumer promising to bring the filibuster rules to a vote, try and change those rules to make it easier to pass legislation, including multiple smaller stimulus packages. So it's going to be interesting to see if that actually happens. And then we have tomorrow, January 12th, which is going to be the first wave of Social Security payments with that increased COLA payment. So those are really the most pressing dates coming up that really affect seniors and affect what could potentially happen next when it comes to the stimulus package, Social Security, and potentially getting stimulus checks for seniors in that next stimulus package. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, and I will keep you posted as things develop. We should have a lot of updates in the next couple of weeks as all of these dates continue to come closer and closer. Now, to end this video, we're going to play a clip from Bernie Sanders himself. He is our biggest advocate, really our biggest advocate for seniors at the national level, and he has been fighting for seniors, of course, to increase benefits, increase SSI, SSDI, approve stimulus checks for seniors, expand Medicare, and every now and then I like to throw in a clip from Bernie Sanders just for inspiration and just to remind you guys that there is someone out there fighting on your behalf, and not just me, not just this community. We have Bernie Sanders in Congress fighting every single day to take care of seniors who need it the most. So, in this clip, he's going to talk about the fact that we need to protect Social Security, protect Medicare and Medicaid, and even expand these benefits to further provide a retirement of dignity for seniors who have paid taxes their entire life, as well as those who are disabled on SSI and SSDI as well. So please stick around, guys. Take a look and see what Bernie Sanders said. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.
Let me begin by thanking the Strengthen Social Security campaign, the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, the Alliance for Retired Americans, MoveOn.org, all right, the SCIU, the AFL-CIO, and all of the other groups, many other groups that have put together this summit, and we're going to see meetings like this all over America. In fact, we're going to make some of our colleagues here an offer they can't refuse. We have got a great meeting here this afternoon. Schedules for senators and House members fluctuate, but we hope to have a number of senators. I see one already here, and others I'm sure will be here. And we're going to have some of the leading members of the House of Representatives here as well. Let me begin by saying that we are here today on a very serious piece of business. And that is, we're going to send a loud message to the leadership in the House, in the Senate. Do not cut Social Security. Do not cut Medicare. Do not cut Medicaid. Do not cut deficit reduction is a serious issue, but it must be done in a way that is fair. We must not balance the budget on the backs of the elderly, the sick, the children, or the poor. Now, in terms of Social Security, let me just start off with Social Security, and let me make one point as clear as I can. Social Security has nothing to do with deficit reduction. Because Social Security has not contributed a nickel to the deficit, because as we all know, and the American people know, it is independently funded by the payroll tax. Furthermore, despite what you may see on TV, Social Security today has a $2.7 trillion surplus and can pay out 100% of benefits for the next 21 years. So our job is to make Social Security strong for 75 years without cutting benefits. There are ways to do that by, among other ways, lifting the cap on taxable income. And on the issue of Social Security and the deficit, I am very delighted to tell you, don't mess with Social Security, says Reed. It has nothing to do with the deficit. Furthermore, and this is quite interesting, I do not often quote Ronald Reagan. That's true. But this is what Ronald Reagan said on October 7th, 1984. Ronald Reagan, quote, Social Security has nothing to do with the deficit. Social Security is totally funded by the payroll tax levied on employer and employee. If you reduce the outgo of Social Security, that money would not go into the general fund to reduce the deficit. End of quote, Ronald Reagan, which goes to show you that anybody could be right at least once in their lifetime. Furthermore, and this is an important point to note, especially if you spend a lot of time here on Capitol Hill, we're surrounded by big money interests and lobbyists and all these other guys. The point of view that we have, that Social Security must be protected, that we do deficit reduction in the way that it's done, is overwhelmingly supported by the American people. I'll give you one example. There was a poll just came out yesterday by Peter Hart Research Associates and organized by the AFL-CIO. And it showed, this poll published yesterday, that by a 64 to 17%, voters want to protect Social Security and Medicare benefits and address the deficit by increasing taxes on the wealthy rather than cutting entitlements. 64 to 17. And here's the bottom line. The bottom line is, as all of you know, this deficit was caused by two wars that were unpaid for, caused by tax breaks to billionaires, caused by a Medicare Part D program written by the insurance companies, and by the lack of revenue coming into the federal government because of this Wall Street-caused recession. And I will be damned if at a time when we have the most unequal distribution of wealth and income of any major country on earth, when you have the top 1% owning 42% of the wealth, bottom 60% owning 2.3% of the wealth, you do not balance the budget on the backs of the bottom 60%. We'll follow what the American people made very clear, and that we are not going to continue huge tax breaks for millionaires and billionaires. We're going to end corporate loopholes. 1/4 of profitable corporations don't pay a nickel in taxes. We're losing $100 billion a year by the rich and large corporations stashing their money on the Cayman Islands. And we can take a look at defense spending and other programs. But what the American people are saying is, wait a minute. We are in the middle of a horrible recession. A lot of people out there are hurting. We're not going to throw children off of Medicaid. We're not going to tell disabled veterans that we're cutting their benefits. We are going to ask for justice, and justice is that those people who have done phenomenally well in recent years, top 2%, are going to start paying their fair share of taxes.